So this, I would usually try to have like that model here on the screen for like a visual aid, but honestly, I am not in the mood to put that image up right now. So it's just going to be like audio form here. As an American, as a lifelong American citizen, I have to confidently say that this country is a complete shit show. With everything, ever since like, and I know this is going to get political. If people do not want to hear politics and this video is not for you, I'm not going to censor this or like hold back. Ever since Trump got back into presidency for the second term, it has been an absolute fucking shit show. Ever since. Think about everything that's happened since he got back in office for this term. The people who took part in the January 6th riots last year, or back in 2021, got pardoned. That should tell you something right about there. It's not something he goes against or anything. If he was actually against what people were doing, like condemn their actions, he never would have pardoned them. Now you got that Smith guy, I can't remember his full name, but like trying to like say that Trump was essentially instigating these things, and it doesn't surprise me if it's true. You had Trump even trying to say that Joe Biden caused egg prices to go up and trying to say that they'll go down under him, which they haven't. And if you actually look at actually do your research, everybody, you would see that egg prices were not increases were not caused by Joe Biden. If you really want to do your research, and I know y'all are capable of doing so by a Google search, it's very simple. Just look up bird flu outbreak 2024. If you don't want to do your research and want a quick history lesson, when the bird flu outbreak was happening in 2024, that meant a lot of eggs were potentially health hazards to humans, so therefore they had to keep going through all these eggs and disposing of them and also getting rid of birds that potentially or even did have the bird flu in order to not infect and potentially permanently harm like the health of or even kill humans. Therefore, there was less egg inventory into the home market. Therefore, they had to raise the prices in order to make up what would be lost inventory on eggs alone. So this was not something that Joe Biden had a hand in or anything he could do anything about. This was out of his hands completely. Then you also had Trump saying that grocery prices are getting lower. Still haven't been. Said gas prices are at or below $2 a gallon. I have not seen that. Like the lowest gas price I saw recently was around like $2.51 a gallon when we got it just the other day. That's not at or below $2. That's above $2. You see this whole stuff with ICE and what happened with Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Neither of which deserve to be murdered. Okay, anybody with common sense that has seen the photos or videos can tell that this was beyond messed up. Okay, even like you look at what happened with Renee, people trying to say, oh, she was aggressive, she's a domestic terrorist. Listen to the back of the beginning of the video where that ICE officer was recording from his phone at her right there in the driver's side window, and she said, it's okay, I'm not mad at you, dude. That doesn't sound like somebody's being angry and aggressive and trying to provoke some kind of angry reaction or even harm somebody. And now she's dead. You look at what just happened with Alex Preddy, which was also absolutely 100% bullshit. The man is standing there with his phone in hand, trying to protect a woman. Next thing you know, he gets pepper sprayed, taken down to the ground and stomped on while his hands are on his head trying to protect himself. They reach around and find his gun in his holster, take it away from him, which is never in his hand. There are plenty of video angles that show that he did not have the gun in hand. It was in his, like, on his person, but not in his hand. Then as soon as his gun was already removed from his person, they executed him in broad daylight, cold blood murder. Completely unjustified, especially for a guy who was 37 years old and was a VA hospital nurse. And you got people trying to spin the narrative to find any way to vilify the guy. And same thing with Renee, too. They were trying to say, oh, she had a criminal record. Look at this. But it's just like, she had no criminal record. She was in her mid to late 30s. Yeah, you guys try to say on her criminal record she was born in 1980, which would have made her 45, which is completely false. Even her sister came out with a statement saying that she never had a criminal record. And again, you'll see anything about Alex Preddy recently, like, which also shows the ass backwards hypocrisy about MAGA and everything. They're all, like, conservatives are all about, like, Second Amendment rights. We gotta protect our guns, because they're the same people who don't want guns being taken away or anything done about guns whenever there's mass shootings happening in, like, schools and like in public and all this other shit, but then all of a sudden you hear this guy in public having a gun on his person with a legal permit. He has his gun legally. Then all of a sudden you guys have problems with citizens having guns. Pretty odd. Now you suddenly have an issue with the Second Amendment there, don't ya? There's like, this guy was just murdered for absolutely no fucking reason. He already had his gun taken away from him, which he did not have in his hands. You can watch every single video angle, and I've seen them. There was no angle anywhere where he had his gun in his hand. He was down on the ground, already getting stomped on after getting pepper sprayed. His gun was taken away by one of the agents, and then they executed him in cold blood murder in broad daylight. And nothing's being done about it. You got the Epstein file cover-up that's still going on. They were supposed to release this stuff over a month ago. But yet they've only released 1% of the files. There are another 2 to 3 million still floating around out there that still have not been released. And any that have been released so far have been heavily redacted to the point where they're just covering up to hide the pedophiles. The only thing they should be covering up is anything involving the victims. And if the victims want to come out and later on name themselves being like, hey, this document is about me, let them. But by default, anything involving the victims of these sex trafficking acts should be friggin' redacted as required by the Transparency Act. But yet the people who are committing these acts are being protected. I don't blame that guy who worked at Ford that got suspended for calling Trump a pedophile protector, because that's what he is. Because we don't have these documents being released or anything. Nobody's been friggin' held accountable for what happened on Epstein Island or anybody who was connected with Epstein even outside of the island in a wrongful way. Like, you can see the cover-up and smell it from a mile away. I don't have to work at a rodeo to know what bullshit smells like. Yeah, Pam Bondi, who's constantly defensive about Trump and not even answering under Congress about anything involving Trump and the Epstein files. You got Kash Patel, who's also saying, oh, there were no co-conspirators. You have one of the emails in the Epstein files that there were at least 10 that were being investigated back in, 2019? Somewhere between 2019 and 2021. So he friggin' lied. Then anytime he was being asked about Trump and the Epstein files, he was trying to avoid answering the question by playing dumb. Oh, can you word it another way? Yeah, do you understand what people are saying, Kash Patel? You got people you have freaking J.D. Vance trying to say, if you lay your hands on a law official or anything, you should be, convicted and locked up and everything. But again, if you do it on January 6, 2021 at the Capitol building while raiding the building, you get away with it. You got money being irresponsibly spent. You got people worrying about their health care and everything. Even my boyfriend, he's struggling as well because there are times where he's having to fear about being able to get his medication because of how fucked up a bunch of the legislation is going on that's directly affecting him. It's just there's so many things asked backwards about ever since Trump got back in office. Let's just be transparent about it. This country is shit. Nobody with an honest faith and any actual morals can say that this country is in a great state by any means necessary when you look at how bad things are everywhere you look. People are struggling to do anything about their healthcare, struggling to be able to afford anything because everything's getting more and more expensive without any possibility in sight of things getting any better in terms of people being able to pay their rent or bills, get food on their table, anything like that. People are getting murdered out in broad daylight by ICE officers, and freaking people in Congress and other positions of power in government are covering up for it, trying to find any way to spin it to justify what happens, so that nobody gets held accountable. Pedophiles are being protected by the government. It's just this country has gone to hell. We should not be in the state. And, oh, shut up, phone. And plus you also look at, people are struggling in this market. When was the last time we heard, since Trump got put back in office, any reports that jobs are being created, that the job market is getting better? You never hear anything about the market being better for people getting jobs, while struggling in this economy. They're at the point where they are no longer releasing data because they want to hide the fact that, hey, we're not doing well. When was the last time they gave a job report or any kind of, report about jobs saying that the economy is getting better? People are, jobs are being created. People are getting put to work and all that stuff. How many times have you heard anything, truthful be coming out of friggin' Trump's mouth when it comes to stuff about Venezuela, stuff about his health, and the biggest thing that's also pissed me off, he's obsessed with putting tariffs on everything. Every time he does not get his way, boom, he decides to respond by putting a tariff on every freaking country.
Oh, I'm not getting Greenland. This is bullshit. I'm gonna put a big tariff on China. I'm gonna put it on Denmark. I'm gonna put it on Canada.
It's like, stop it! You're not punishing these countries by putting tariffs on everything. You're punishing the American citizens who are trying to get stuff from these countries. Have you tried freaking buying something off of Temu, which is stuff coming from China? It's more expensive than it was before Trump got put in office because these tariffs get put on anybody buying stuff from these countries. You get something from Temu back when Biden was in office, it's low price stuff, but you have these tariffs under the freaking Trump administration, those prices go up for the consumers that are getting these stuffs in here in America. You can put all the tariffs you want, but Canada's not suffering from it, China's not suffering from it, Denmark is not suffering from it, Venezuela's not suffering from it if they have any on there. It's bullshit. You got people being freaking murdered on boats, freaking getting blown up and all that shit. Like, this country, it's a joke. Nothing is going on with this country, period. I don't care what anybody tries to say or how they try to spin it. This country is a joke. People are struggling. And yet, the friggin' president, the friggin' annoying orange himself, doesn't care. He'd rather spend more time friggin' slapping tariffs on friggin' countries and going out golfing than actually running this country properly. All he does is friggin' put tariffs on things, friggin' running his mouth, justifying bad actions and corruption that happens in this country, being a lazy friggin' president. Like, he doesn't care about anything other than anything for his friggin' well-being. And putting up a ballroom on the side of the friggin' White House and all that shit. And friggin' giving money to other countries and everything like Argentina and wherever else. And when in actuality, this country friggin' needs it. We're $37 trillion in debt. That's not a good thing. People should not be struggling in this country. How can anybody with an honest face say that this is the greatest country on earth when so many things are going wrong on a daily basis? ICE officers should not be shooting American citizens and getting away with it. You should not be seeing these MAGA cult worshippers freaking buying everything that they're being told. People with common sense should be able to do their research on this stuff and realize that, hey, they're being lied to by the government. Listen to George Carlin's old routine where he said that he doesn't believe anything that the government tells him. It's still, like, the stuff that George Carlin has said about the government and politicians 20 to 30 years ago is still relevant to this day. Like, I don't get why people just don't do their freaking research and realize that, hey, shit is not adding up with anything that the government tells us. They'll label anybody on the left as domestic terrorists without any evidence to back it up. They label friggin' Renee Good as a domestic terrorist. She wasn't. They label friggin' Alex Preddy as a domestic terrorist. He wasn't. You guys just want justification for every bad thing you ever fucking do because you don't want to be held accountable. This is the worst country I've possibly on the planet. If not, or at least the worst era ever where this country could be. Like, I want to see these people get held accountable, and we need to see people getting impeached for, like, their corruptions and cover-ups and wrongdoings. Trump, Patel, Bondi, Levitt, Noam, Hegseth, J.D. Vance. It's like, I'm not completely anti-Republican or anything. Like, I know Thomas Massie, I think he's one of the rare good ones out there in terms of, like, actually having some morals at the least. Like, we know he pressed on hard about the whole Epstein files and everything. We've seen the video and everything. But it's just like the freaking Republican Party can do so much better than this. Okay, we got too many selfish people that freaking watch each other's backs and protect pedophiles and freaking try to justify everything that they ever do, ever, which is not the way to go. People should not be getting ripped apart from their families without due process and freaking getting racially profiled. We should not have people being murdered in the streets by freaking any kind of people like with an officer ranking, whether they be Border Patrol or ICE or whoever the hell. The market should not be shit. People should not be struggling to freaking survive. Yet the government just doesn't care. Like, Caroline Levitt tried to say, oh, how dare you try to imply that Trump is doing things on his own well-being and everything. It's like, that's a pretty damn accurate freaking assumption to make of the son of a bitch. Okay? When was the last time he's proven that he cares about people? He keeps making up shit all the time. Saying he's ended 8 wars. No, he hasn't. He hasn't done jack shit. He keeps saying that the friggin' 2020 election was rigged. No, you lost. Trying to friggin' say, like, that things are friggin' rigged when they don't go in his favor. He friggin' slaps tariffs when he doesn't get his way. Friggin' says that he's ended, like, a shitload of wars when he hasn't. Said the gas prices are at low points, like, which you may have, like, one or two places out there that may have, like, prices elsewhere that friggin' have that price, but just about everywhere else, not so much. Grocery prices are not down. Everything, like, all the prices are freaking going up and shit. And like I said, you even listen to his lie about the freaking egg prices and everything. He just blames Joe Biden for every damn thing because he's just pissed off that Joe Biden beat him in the previous election. Like, I know people don't think highly of Kamala Harris and everything, but a lot of the stuff that she was saying, warning people about Trump before, like, he got elected and everything, has been coming true. People, like, try to say, like, oh, Trump is all about the president of peace, and he's the affordability president, but yet he says affordability is a hoax, and he's not friggin', like, trying to make peace with anybody. He's constantly friggin' blowing countries up, raiding people and everything, and causing wars, like, at this point, and yet you have people friggin' MAGA that say, oh, Harris will send, like, your sons to friggin' war and everything. They're, like, against that, but then all of a sudden Trump is pretty much starting wars. They're like, hey, yay! And you look at a lot of these MAGA people, they don't have any morals. The only thing they care about is anything that's against liberals. The only thing they want to see is anything that will, quote-unquote, own the libs. And then, eventually, the things that they friggin' think are great because they, quote-unquote, own the libs, end up biting them in the ass. So it's like, fuck around and find out, huh? Oh, I lost my job. Oh, I can't afford anything. Oh, what the hell happened? You voted for the wrong person in the office. You voted for a pedophile protector who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, aka one of the nastiest sex traffickers in history. Anyway, that's my fucking rant. If people don't like it, I honestly don't care. Like, because, again, if anybody with common sense and, like, morals can listen to this and realize that, hey, yeah, there is truth that things are fucked up in this country right now. The wrong people are in office. We could do better with the president. We could do better with people in freaking FBI, especially when the head of FBI, freaking Cash Patel, is completely unqualified for his job. Kristi Noem is a complete idiot. Pam Bondi is part of cover-ups. Caroline Leavitt is a habitual liar. This country is shit, let's face it. And I know a lot of people try to say, oh, if you don't like this country, you can leave it. Not everybody can afford to fucking leave, okay? What did I just say about the damn market with how everything is and how everything costs? People are struggling, and it should not be this way. Period.